Morning, America and the rest of the world. Xander J. Hobson here, stand-up comedian and entertainer, director and producer of boxing documentaries, and internet troll to those who need internet trolling. This here is another episode of The Devil's Advocate brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. I'm trying to grow the platform, so please subscribe, like this video, and by all means, share it. Hopefully you got something nice to say because I love checking out the feedback from the videos that I make. But if you are a detractor, I encourage you to detract. But just know, if you get carried away, I'm the troll's troll, and trolling me will not be tolerated. So anyway, I was listening to one Obsidian Mumia Ali this morning, and I was surprised to discover that he was going to be having a Black Manosphere meetup in Philadelphia, like the one that they had down there in Atlanta this summer past. So for the most part, hey, Obsidian, I'm there, man. Put me down for at least one ticket. Now, if our fellow Philadelphians, George Macon and Marvin Burrell from the Urban Nerds, decide that they want to come, hey, I'll probably buy them a ticket too. So at the very minimum, Obsidian, you got me on the hook for one ticket, but you might have me on the hook for three. I think this is a good thing. I like the idea that Obsidian is trying to network and pool like-minded individuals together. Hopefully some more of our YouTube brethren from Philadelphia will come out and be supportive. I will be looking forward to seeing one Monty Woodgrain if he decides that he wants to come out. Maybe even Dr. Umar Johnson to come out. But one thing for certain and two things for sure, Xander J. Hobson will be at Obsidian Mumia Ali's Black Manosphere meetup in Philadelphia. I have to say, after getting into these live chats and interacting with a lot of people online, I can honestly say that I have had the Black Manosphere all wrong. Now, my initial introduction to these guys, I was under the impression that these guys were all a bunch of women-hating yahoos who had buyer's regret because they hooked up with women that they should have done a better job at vetting. However, after participating in a bunch of live streams, Mr. Fantastic, Charles Faulkner, Obsidian Mumia on a bunch of occasions, I have to say I have these guys all wrong. Now, is this to say that I agree with everything that they say? Absolutely hell no. As a matter of fact, fuck no. But for the most part, I've discovered that most of these guys that I've interacted with in these live streams, these guys were some pretty solid guys. And although I didn't agree with everything that they said, I agree with a lot of the things that they said. In fact, I agree with enough of the things that they said that I have to admit, I had these guys all wrong. I never tried to be the boss of anyone. I like to try to be a man amongst men. And in my travels, in being a man amongst men, I've found myself around in the company of a lot of different kind of guys. And my experience from being around men in the boxing ring, in the U.S. Marine Corps, in the Pennsylvania Air National Guard, and in the Air Force Reserve. If I haven't learned one thing about men, I learned that you're not going to agree on everything. But if you guys can agree on most things, you got some common ground to build on. One of the things that Obsidian said while I was listening to his broadcast was the Black Manosphere is big enough for everyone. And you know what? After being a Black Manosphere detractor, I think I won in. Is an old edict that goes, if you can't beat them, join them. And for me to be swimming upstream, going against a bunch of guys who are pretty much saying the same thing I'm saying, but in a different way, I think it would be crazy and pointless to me. One of the things that I understand about movements and organizations is units and organizations are broken down into various units and departments. And because I'm a military guy, I understand this clearly. For example, a military unit is broken down into the administration section, the pay section, the child hall, the supplies section, the transportation section, the grunts, the sailors, the aviators. So there is no one thing. And guess what? In a military unit, nobody agrees on everything. And guess what? Everybody believes that their department is the most important department. So now that I have a different understanding of the black manosphere, I understand that the black manosphere is broken down into various departments. You do have a department where the guys hate the women, but you also have a department like Obsidian's department. That's the guy who wants men and women to get together. That is a department that want men and women to have a better relationship. Then you have the lead the attorney's department. The lead attorney's department is the legal department. Then you have the other brother, I'm not sure that his name, but he is the administration and the financial department. So now that I've grasped the concept of the black manosphere, I definitely want to be a part of this because I want to be able to tell guys on how to be a better husband. I want to be able to tell some young servicemen how to navigate the Marine Corps, how to navigate the National Guard, how to navigate the Air Force. I have a lot of contributions that I'm willing to add, that as an experience as a truck driver, that as an experience of an entrepreneur and a landlord. So again, now that I have a better understanding of this black manosphere setup, I'm not going to go against the grain anymore. I'm not going to swim upstream. I'm going to get in where I fit in. Again, Obsidian said that the black manosphere is big enough for everyone. Now, that's not to say that I'm going to agree with everything that comes out of the mouths of some of the guys that's in different departments. One of the things that I most recently saw, Obsidian didn't agree 100% with Kevin Samuels. Obsidian actually said that he would like to see Kevin Samuels talking to women who are his intellectual peers. So again, Obsidian showed that folks can be in the same military or the same unit or the same army and they can agree to disagree and still move forward and get things done. Another thing that Obsidian said during his broadcast was, why not you? Why not you? You know, that was a pretty good concept. And as I was watching Obsidian's broadcast, I said to myself, why not you? I've been reading Obsidian's book, the Book of Obsidian, a pretty good read. And as I was reading it, I'm thinking to myself, why not you? And again, since reading Obsidian's book, it inspired me to release my own book. I have a book that I wrote, and I've been meaning to release it for a number of years. And after checking out Obsidian's book, I said to myself, why not you? Why not you? I believe the whole premise of this conversation that Obsidian was having, I believe it had something to do with Angry Man. I also saw that this was a broadcast that I myself gave some feedback in. And Obsidian was saying something to the extent of stay in your lane. Apparently, Angry Man was having a problem with Kevin Samuels. For whatever reason, he was having a problem with Kevin Samuels. And Obsidian touched on one important thing. Stay in your lane. From what I gathered from the conversation, Angry Man does pretty good doing what he's doing. But for whatever reason, Angry Man is upset because he's not doing what Kevin Samuels is doing in the form of numbers and notoriety. And Obsidian said something that resonated with me. Obsidian pointed out, he's not trying to be like Kevin Samuels. He's just trying to build his audience, take care of his projects, do what he had to do. Essentially, Obsidian was saying he was staying in his lane and he was encouraging Angry Man to stay in his lane. And I tell you one thing, if I ain't know nothing, if I didn't understand nothing else, it inspired me to stay in my lane and do what it is I need to do to be the best version of Xander J. Hobson that I could be. Now, again, part of me being a better version of Xander Hobson, I got to be a part of this manosphere space. I got to link up with like-minded men so that we can move, number one, ourselves in the right direction, but number two, We got to move our race in the right direction. And finally, to cap this video off, Obsidian Mumia Ali said that he don't want everybody. He was saying that he was only looking for a few good men. And you know what? I heard that brother when he said that, because I myself have been looking for some like-minded people. And I tell you what, when Obsidian has his Black Manosphere meetup in June, I don't care if nobody else don't come. Xander Hobson will be there. And if it's just me and Obsidian sitting there brainstorming on how to move our race forward in the right direction, that's what we're going to do. Now, as I close this broadcast out, right, I want to say to whoever's listening out there, my aim as a black man is, number one, don't contribute to the bullshit. 2, set a good example. 3, help whoever I can help, and who I can't help, I'm going to stay the hell away from them, because I'm not going to get bogged down in the bullshit. And finally, as I close it off, Obsidian said that, man, I'm not even going to debate somebody when it comes to success. This is the formula that works, and this is how I'm going to apply it. Well, when it comes to Xander Hobson, I've had a winning formula for 54 years, and now it's time for me to network with some like-minded brothers so that I can move myself ahead, but also so that I can connect and we can help young black brothers that's coming up underneath us be the best version of themselves that they could be. Hey man, Obsidian, I see you in June, and I'm done with it. Bam!
A little boy climbed an apple tree. He stole an apple, then 2, then 3. And when he started to climb back down, he slipped and he landed on the ground. Up jumped the devil, up jumped the devil. And every time he turned around, up jumped the devil and the white knight